morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Thursday, October 16th, 2025. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Thursday, everyone. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. The last several days, we've had quite a bit of intraday volatility with swings back and forth. Again, this market really susceptible right now to headline risk at the moment. So intraday right now, you're going to see swings back and forth. The lower time frames have been very, very useful, including a 15-minute time frame on these good reversals. Again, we could see a push to the highs, and if we get above the high, it could be a fade back down. If it fades back down, it could be a bounce back up as this market continues to see some back and forth, especially near the center point here of Friday's impulse sell-off. That's something we mentioned on Monday here, that given this impulse sell-off and the fact that we had bounced back already, that gives us a key range here, and given the width of that move in such a quick period of time, you could see some build out here for a while, and that's a wide range for build out, 150 points of range for build out and trading back and forth. So this market right now is building energy. It continues to be a high volatility trade, continues to be susceptible to headline risk at the moment, so fade the edges here and look to play back toward the day's intraday VWAP and different short-term targets. But again, taking a look here at the NQ, very similar price action in the NQ as well. Impulse sell-off on Friday, back to the midpoint on a Monday, Sunday, Monday. That has solidified the key range, and the middle portion of that range has continued to hold court here. That's something we mentioned as well on Monday, that we could trade between the middle 50% of this range for a little while until we're ready to see expansion. And again, hard to bet against the upside. If we were to see a continued pullback and a test down below, this 25% extension would be a tremendous opportunity for a first test fade and perhaps a continuation toward the upside 100% target down the road. The 100% target's way up here. 26,617s. Downside target would be way down here, 22,900. Again, which way are we going to go? This key range is going to give us some great directional cues down the way. Right now, fading the edges. If we get up to the high, fade it back down. If we get too low, fade it back up right now as this market remains within a high volatility trading range. All right, looking at crude oil, this one's up about 0.6% right now. Still hanging out down near these lows here. A lot of compression the last several days, especially following that big time sell-off. Is there room for a little bit of a pop up ahead? Is there room for a pop? Again, this market has been able to put together 3, 4, and sometimes even 5-day bounces. Is it ready for one of those bounces right now? How high do we go if we get one of those bounces? Do we get a move back towards 61? Perhaps easily toward that level. Do we get a little bit higher? And right now, again, given the downtrend, we still have yet to kind of finish out this move into support. Once a failure at 64 has occurred, that opens the door to 54 down below. This market trades in 10-point increments on the 4s as of right now. 64 here, 74 there. 54 here, and the fact that we are more than midway down suggests that we're still working our way down this way. So again, any pullback that might happen over a 2 or 3 day period could be a great selling opportunity for an extension into 54s up ahead. All right, looking at gold futures, up another 1 1/3% today, and is trading now at the 4250s. We have officially gone halfway up into the next highest 500-point market structure. So initially, again, we're looking at the 3,500 level here down to the 3,000 level, and that range suggested a break at 35 would push us to 4,000. We've gone straight there, but we had 5 months of energy buildup here and only 5 weeks of expansion before we got to 4,000. So the idea was we could see more expansion up ahead and go midway into the next 500-point structure. And if we get to midway, it increases the odds of continuing to the next 500-point edge, which is 4,500. even if a pullback to 4,000 occurs, it could still be a buying opportunity for 4,500. Now, right now, we haven't seen any kind of pullback of this magnitude. The last one was here, and every single time we've seen a pullback, quote unquote, it's been kind of a one-day pullback, maybe a little 2 or 3 day sideways move, and we're squeezing. So not likely to see a full pullback into 4,000, but even if we did, the directional conviction is still to the upside of 4,500 as of right now. All right, looking at the YM. Now the YM has given us quite a bit of volatility here lately, and even in this range here, which was very compressed, we noted the volatility in our trading room and how a lot of that volatility was pointing to the sell side. And so we mentioned that if we break down, we could have a couple of days at least of weakness. That breakdown was much more volatility than initially thought could be seen, but at the same time, that volatility on Friday opened the window to more volatility in the coming days, which is kind of how it works. You get over 200% of ADR in a day, in this case 400%, 500% in the case of the ES. That leads to increased volatility over the next week and perhaps even over the next several weeks. A lot of times that coincides with weakness, but in an uptrending market, this could be the high volatility pullback, and then the resolution is still up over the next several weeks. So right now we're in a high volatility window at the moment. The key range, Friday's high, was very important. We nailed that in our trading room, especially in our PivotBoss Masters training. Yesterday was day 3, and we noted that right away that if we're going to turn in this market, it's going to be right here. Our sell side signals fired right at that zone as well. Great rotation back down. But again, this market continues to honor the edges and the middle portion here of that initial key range. So that's the edge to continue to watch. For today, inside day at the moment, fade the edges. It could be a trading range back and forth. That range here gives us a great kind of key range to watch. So these edges are the ones to fade. We can trade anywhere in here today in the YM. So look to fade the intraday edges. Looking at Bitcoin, up 0.6% right now. Initial thrust reversal developing below 2-day lows and is already trading back to the previous session's midpoint. This has been a highly bearish move to the downside, and we have yet to really wipe out into support. We've gotten to 110. 110 is a very important level. We filled the gap here as well, but not quite the 108 level. 108 kind of true support there, the key range low. 108, 556. So we could have a little bit lower to go, right? If you're going to turn up, ideally you want to take out the previous low before you do it. We haven't even taken out this low. There's that low. So do we need to get a little bit lower before we see a meaningful bounce? Is this just kind of a gotcha move here at the moment? Once this move is done, it turns back down. I haven't seen the strong enough rejection to suggest that this is going to really power higher at the moment. So this should be considered a counter trend move at the moment. But if we close well through the mid today to the upside, that could suggest that we may be at least seeing a near-term bounce. But I would love to see it down below if it's going to bounce meaningfully here. And if we start to break meaningfully through 105, then 90 could be ahead. So this is an important zone here to continue to watch. In Bitcoin, ETH, again, we had it on day 1 here as a rejection at 4,800. Mentioned if we get through 43, it really opens up the downside into 3,800. Obviously, we've gotten close, 3,850, but not quite into lows either. Just like Bitcoin, it's gotten close, but not quite into those lows. So the key range low is here. The recent low is just above it. It was a key range in and of itself. This behavior right here looks very heavy. Very heavy. It doesn't look like a pattern that can easily bounce right now. Not to say that it can't. It just looks very, very heavy, and usually that heaviness comes with another round of weakness. So how low are we going here? Again, big time edge to watch. And one thing we've noted before, especially early on in our trading room on this day, was if Bitcoin and Ethereum are rejecting at these highs and start to move lower, how will the market respond? How will the market respond if we start to break through market structure here and further fall to the downside, perhaps even leading to a massive 30 or 40% further correction? That will be a big test here for the broader market at large. So again, 3,800 very, very important here, because you break here and there could be 34.28 at least up ahead, and maybe even more. So big time level here to continue to watch in Ethereum. All right, that's it for now. We'll see how this plays out into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.